back to my channel. I am back with this week's Teen Mom Recap. Before I get started with this week's video, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel because I post new videos every single week about the newest episode of Teen Mom The Next Chapter. If that's something you want to watch, go ahead and subscribe. And anyway, let's go ahead and get started with this week's episode. So we begin with Ashley, who hasn't been on an episode in weeks. She says, I'm ready to let the relationship with Bar go. I signed the divorce papers already. What changed for you? He has to still be in California for at least another year. I'm not running after him. He said he never cheated because it supposedly wasn't physical. I don't believe him. And this is always going to come back up. It's time to just let it go. Thank God, I am so glad she finally took out the trash. She's better looking than him, more intelligent, and could honestly just do way better in every single field. Just don't get back with that dude 600 Breezy, okay? That was a bad era. Next is Cheyenne. Ace will be starting preschool soon. It's hard to believe that I'll no longer have a baby in my house. Are you sure about that? Her dad comes by to visit, and they talk about how Zach wants another baby. So you guys live an expensive lifestyle. Yeah, we do. Where's Zach's head at in terms of a career? Well, it's still hard with his arrest record. If you can't go in the front door, sometimes you gotta go in the back. I also suspect that that's how Cheyenne's been avoiding having this baby that he wants so bad. How was it when you and Mom were my age? Well, we were starting my business, and the reason we started my business, Image Quest, is that my mom's sister told us about it. She worked at a law firm, and she saw all the money that was going through the copy center. Cheyenne says, when people ask about your business, I say it's an upscale version of Kinko's. Which, if you're around my age, you probably asked, what the fuck is Kinko's? And I had to look it up. Apparently it's an office store that's been out of business completely since 2008, so weird example for Cheyenne to use. But I am glad, regardless, that they're actually explaining exactly what it is that her family does, because I've always been curious. Anyway, her dad says that he wants to retire. He says, at one point, I thought you and R. Kyle could take over the business, but you already have Nails by Ryder and social media stuff going on. You couldn't handle all that on your plate. I was thinking maybe Zach would be interested in taking over. Next is Brianna. Devoin texts her, I got a job opportunity in Michigan, and I'm moving there. Let's talk. Brianna tells her family, and they ask, what kind of job is it? I don't know. I want to be supportive, but I'm angry. Also, he said he relapsed on his gambling. Maybe that's why he's leaving. But the kids are just going to wonder, what did I do wrong to make him leave? Brittany says, I hope for the best, but he's going to miss moments in Nova's life. I hope the check was worth it. Leah's dad gets out of rehab. While the girls are away, we're building trust, so he does some yard work for Leah. He also adopted a new Santa Claus type look while in rehab. He tells her, I'm sorry that I was messed up for so long. How was rehab? Great. It was actually meaningful to listen to what others went through, and I still do groups in therapy. I do want to introduce you to the girls. I just want them to be comfortable. He says, don't push it on them. It's whenever they're ready. Next, we have one of the last few appearances of Gary number 2 before he does his great runoff. I love you, Amber. I want kids, and I want to experience that with you. So do I, baby. Over to the other Gary. Christina asks him, how do you feel about Leah not wanting to see Amber? If she doesn't want to talk to her mom, she doesn't have to. Which is the right answer, but it doesn't really match up to reality. From what we've seen on the show, Gary still seems to force Amber on Leah quite a bit. Maybe he's finally seeing the light on that. Christina says, it's kind of teasing, Amber coming in and out of her life. What should we do going forward? He says, well, I can't push no more. I should talk to Amber solo and make Leah's opinions known, but make them sound less edgy. Amber just gets so defensive, though. They really do have to baby this grown-ass woman, like, it's so sad. Brianna meets up with Devoin, and am I crazy, or is this the same coffee shop that she broke up with Bobby at? I think it is, like, down to where they're sitting. So, what is this new job? Working an assembly line at GM? Do you see yourself staying there? I like what they offer to pay. I'd do a lot of shit for the right amount of money. Careful what you say, Devoin, you don't want to be the next Farrah Abraham. I'm stagnant here. And I had to sign myself into a lifetime ban from the casino. I've been gambling, too. Do you think that'll change when you go up there? You can't just move somewhere else and expect things to change. Well, I know exactly where to find all the distractions here. And I'm going to take Brianna's side on this point. There goes a saying, which is, wherever you go, there you are. And it's used a lot in addiction therapy, I notice. And what it basically means is you can't escape your problems just by moving to a new place. And maybe I would kind of understand if you lived in like a big gambling city like Las Vegas or something where it was like inevitable temptation. But gambling is not so huge in Florida that you have to like look to escape it. it's only legal on Native American reservations, and it's pretty spread across the state. Or maybe he's going to those weird strip mall casinos that somehow have like a loophole to exist. I don't know. But either way, Michigan has casinos too, and that bullshit about I know where to find the distractions here, that's just stupid. It's the modern era. We have Google. I just found a whole list of casinos in Michigan in 0.25 seconds. Brianna says, I'm proud, but I'm angry at you. You're leaving your daughter. You're leaving me to handle parenting by myself. How will you bond with Nova? I'll communicate with her. It's not the same. I went through this with my dad. I guess I'll talk to Nova about this, and then I'll let you talk to her. And I have mixed feelings about this. Like, on one hand, some people genuinely do need to travel for their job. Like, for example, Leah's ex, Jeremy. And Florida does not have, like, any car manufacturing factories. I don't even think they have any at all. Not a lot of factories in Florida in general. So no, this would not be something that Devoin could do if he stayed in Orlando. So I kind of get it. But I just, like, he's so flaky that I just hope he sticks with it, you know, and it was worth it. Because this isn't something that the primary parent could do. Just pick up and leave town. And it's really unfortunate for the kids. Cheyenne's mom asks her how they're going to support having another baby. Chey says, I'll make more money. I mean, we will make more money. God, this is so embarrassing for Zach. Her dad says, I want to retire and I want to find someone to do what I do with sales. Zach, how would you feel about doing it? You have to dedicate yourself, though. You can't just walk in whenever you want. Like, if I'm at work, you're gonna have to be there shadowing me daily. Zach reluctantly takes him a few seconds. He says, I appreciate the offer. Let me give it some serious thought first. My guy, if you don't shut the fuck up and take that job, I gotta think about it. Think about what? You've had like 15 years to think about what kind of job you want. And now you're being offered one literally on a silver fucking platter. No questions asked. No experience needed, no interview, no resume. It's like a Nepo baby type thing, except you're the Nepo son-in-law. Next is Ashley. Pastor T asks Ashley, what's the tea? So I signed divorce papers, the ball is in his court now. At the very least, I know that he'll still be a good babysitter. But T says, he might not be as interested now that he's not with you. I've seen that happen with men. When they're not with the woman anymore, they lose interest in the kid. Well, I hope not. Anyway, I haven't been single in the summer for 10 years. It's time for my hot girl summer. And her mom says, you're old. It's not hot girl summer. You're like medium girl summer. She's only 26. You don't have to roast her like that. Leah asked her girls if they're open to getting to know their grandpa. And they say, possibly. We need to meet him first. And one of them asks her, how do you feel? Leah says, well, he left when I was 5. Can you imagine if your dad left at 5 and then came back in your 30s? She calls her dad and invites them to see the girls tomorrow, and he agrees to come. Gary number 1 asked Amber for a phone call, and she is suspicious. He said he wants to talk. All they do is deflect me from seeing Leah, using her schedule. They stopped me from picking her up from school. He thinks, oh, Leah's 15, it's her decision. No, the fuck it's not. No, the fuck it's not. Yeah, Amber, I'm sure that, like, dragging Leah by her hair into the car and, like, strapping her into the seatbelt, forcing you to see her, is the best route to take. Oh, yeah, for sure. Gary number 2, which I say that ironically because he is, in fact, full of shit. He's full of number 2. He says, you do all the right things, Amber. I don't know why they're treating you like this. Ashley and her mom go out to Chippendales. She says, I don't think Barr is willing to give up control, which is bad foreshadowing for what ends up happening with the criminal charges. I'm sure you guys have heard about it. But the season of Scrubs is over. Ashley has a banner on. I'm desperately trying to read what it says. She says, it feels weird to be single, but I'm receptive to new guys. Ashley twerks on stage. Her mom puts a condom on a banana with her mouth. It's a good time. Zach makes his wife and her friend some food, like the good house husband that he is. Finally, he agrees to take her dad's job. I'm so proud of you. He says, don't be proud of me. Be proud of your parents. We love the honesty. Because let's be real, that was a pity job handed to him with zero effort on his part. So I'm like struggling to feel like he really did something. It's more just like bare minimum. Like, okay, you got a job. You didn't work for it, but you did get a job. And Cheyenne is just too nice. She's like, no, acknowledge yourself in the effort, Zach. Now go call my dad. And he does call, and her dad tells him, this has to be your primary source of income. You have to let me teach you what I know. When you show that you're committed, then I'll give you more free reign. I accept your offer, and I'll try to take over. Brianna talks to Nova off camera about Devoin moving, and then Devoin comes to talk to her himself. So, what have you heard? That you're moving? Yeah, I go in a month. but I'll get you out there for a week, I promise. I'm not leaving you behind, and I'm really gonna miss you. You too, and they share a hug. Leah's dad arrives to paint, and he meets up with the girls. He says, hey, you guys remember me? And Addie says, I have amazing memory, but no, I don't remember you. But he actually comes off very sweet, like he asks about their school and stuff. He seems genuinely interested, he seems sober. And he also says this quote, which I really like. He says, I'm a nut, but I'm screwed onto the right bolt. Amber calls Gary number 1, and she comes on defensive right away. She says, is there anything that you guys are worried about? Like, why haven't you been letting Leah stay the night here? Why don't I know about her cross-country stuff? I'm not being told things. If Leah says she doesn't want to do things, I'm at a point where it doesn't matter. I want to see my daughter anyway. Facts are facts, and I've been doing nothing but trying to get Leah back. The Delulu. I can't. Like, she needs to cross out the last 6 words of that last sentence she said. So it's just, I've been doing nothing. There, I fixed it for you, Amber. Now it's facts. Leah's not ready for that. And you are very hard to get a hold of, Amber. Days go by that you don't reply to us. How is that possible? I'm not going to reply to Christina about some bullshit. She's not going to tell me anything. Where are you? Everybody has an excuse. Which, love how she doesn't have any respect for Christina, who's been raising her daughter for the past, 10 years? Gary says, I'm not doing this. This is my daughter, who you aren't there for. Burn. Oh, thank you for saying that. I'm getting off here. Yeah, I'm getting off here too, buddy. The fuck? And she's making her, contorted psycho Amber faces. And it is at this precise point that Gary number 2 gets this look on his face like, oh, that's why people don't like this bitch. It's all coming together now. Like, you could tell this man is seriously regretting his life choices. Little too late, but Amber says, I'm glad that I'm with somebody who's so understanding. And then we get a preview, and little fast forward sign says 2 weeks later, and then Amber's saying, my fiance is missing. Love the shadiness from the editors there. And that is all for this episode of Teen Mom the Next Chapter. Next week is the finale, and it actually looks super juicy. We're going to get Gary leaving, we're going to get Bar's criminal activities, it's going to be a lot. As for this episode, what do we think of Gary confronting Amber? Do we think that Amber had any valid points? Do we think that this is the exact moment that Gary number 2 is like, I gotta get the fuck out of here? And what do we think about Devoin leaving town for a new job? Make sure to leave a comment down below, and make sure to subscribe for more Teen Mom recaps every week.